Okay, this video is going to be about how we finish this thing out. So far, this is 2 coats on here. We're hoping today we can get it down ready for paint. That's the goal for the new wall meeting the old wall. The client requested that would we paint the entire bathroom, so I can give you a look at the entire bathroom. This is the point we didn't know. It saves the client time trying to find a painter and all that, but with our rates, we basically have to be fair and drop the rate to try and get it done, but still she wants a professional job. So we will do that. One of the things I noticed since the house is moving, you see cracks here, cracks there. The walls are in great shape, but she wants the ceiling painted too. And of course I noticed, there you go, so I can get a good shot of it. So cracks in the ceiling. There's only one there. There are some here. So let me see. Let me pause this. All right, getting back to the video. We had anticipated painting the ceiling, but the cracks are there. Here's one. I can show you what that does. See how it flakes off? Here's another one. See it flaking? Now what your average run-of-the-mill painter will do, see it's flaking? We'll come in and just paint right out. This one's real obvious, look at that. I'm not pushing that hard now. I'm just putting the knife in there. So today's goal will be to go around and prepare the ceiling the same way we prepared the wall for paint. Your average run-of-the-mill painter would come in and basically just paint over it. Problem with that is, usually within a year or less probably, it'll peel. It'll run right along the crack. Might last a little longer, but it's going to peel again and fall down because you're putting wet paint over dry. And keep in mind, this is plaster we're dealing with. See, I could do that. I'm not going that hard. I'm just getting the loose stuff off. So today's goal is to get anything loose off the ceiling. Then it has to be sealed the same way this wall was with plaster Paris or joint compound. The other thing, well, this video might be a little long because I want to tell you what all the final touches we found. The other thing we found was this. See how this is moving? See that? Where these 2 surfaces meet is not on a beam. So I want to put a piece of molding on here, miter it, and make a nice edge. But the problem is when you nail through, you're going to be hitting plaster or a surface like this where there's no support. And what it's going to do is knock the seal loose between the new wall and the old wall. So let me pause it again and I'll show you how I got to fix that because that's a new one. Fortunately, we've seen this view before where they opened the wall years ago to do the copper pipes. Well, you can actually look through here and see, here's the new wall, drywall, and there's plaster. Let's see if I can get you a shot. There it is. See the difference? A little green line right there. Oops. Right there. That's where I'd have to nail, and that I'd be nailing against nothing. So now what I got to do is put support across here, at least 2 or 3 places. And thank goodness we got our portable wood shop set up in the basement. This one might make it on the top because I have this block here. This might help, but that has to be done too. Otherwise you're going to bang with the hammer and it's just going to knock the plaster loose and break the seal. And then that'll crack in the future. So we'll take care of that while we're here. And let me pause again. Again, this is a special video. We normally concentrate on plumbing, but over the years, I've lost count of how many total bathrooms we've done, end to end, everything. Of course, if you need an electrician or something like that, but painting, drywall, ceramic tile, hardwood floors. I mean, it's all been done so many times. But every now and then you get a client who just says, I don't want anyone else to do it. Would you do it for me? And that's where we're at now. Much appreciated, but we don't do it half-ass. So a quick explanation. When you paint a ceiling, you usually use a flat paint, which is what we got. I like Perma White, which is a really good paint, kind of rubberized normally. So I got something for the ceiling for that. I found the pigment from the color swatch, so I have that. And for the woodwork, which wants to remain white, this woodwork and this woodwork, especially this one around the tub. Here's another crack I just noticed. Look at that. See that? I want to see it moving? That has to be sealed, especially behind the tub, because this is where all the moisture is in the bathroom. Woodwork here with the natural doors. It makes it a little tougher, so these have to either be taped or maybe we can open it and figure out some kind of way. Again, you see the cracks around here. Around here, those have to be closed up because it is an old house. It will move and it will crack again. And rather than using, looks like somebody tried to use something on there. It looks like spackle. Spackle won't work because spackle will crack. There's another crack in the corner on the pigment. See it? That has to be closed up. And that's all normal with old houses. They move. So again, you usually use a flat on the ceiling. I got that. On the doorways, especially here, and on the window frames, you use a high gloss, a good high gloss, and I got that. And then I have the pigment paint here. So that's 3 different paints right there. Today's goal is to sand all these down, and hopefully by tomorrow, this will be ready for real paint. And the other thing that will be done is once all the cracks are sealed, everything's sanded down, ready for paint, is you have to prime this entire room with a good primer to seal up all your repairs. You can't just throw the paint over top of this. For example, this is raw drywall. Here, the new color is like a really light gray. It's a nice bright color. The problem with that is if you just put it right over this, you won't see the color. So you have to prime this after it's all wiped down. The whole room has to be wiped down, washed, not with soap necessarily, but a wet rag. The ceiling has to be wiped. Everything has to be wiped down, scraped down, sanded. You got to sand these surfaces to break the glaze so that the paint sticks, and then you prime it. And then when you put your real paint, your final paint over it, it will stick and probably have the longest duration that you'll get out of the paint job. And again, you use high gloss on the doorways, the window frames, and places like this, because guess what? This is where people touch. Not necessarily the homeowner, but you have guests. They come in and they touch there. I can see the dirt on here from people putting their hands on it. That's why you don't use a flat here. You use a high gloss. And that's also something later you can go back with a damp rag and you can wipe it clean to keep it clean. You can't wipe flat. You can't wipe eggshell. You can't wipe semi-gloss. You can, but it's not the same as high gloss. So that's the way it's supposed to be done. And the owner wants it done professionally and correct. And that's our goal. So let me pause it and show you the paint. So here's the paint. This is the primer. Good one for interior that I've seen. I even use it on exterior. So in other words, when everything's sanded down and flattened and ready, you take this paint and you paint the entire bathroom, everything, the woodwork, if you have some left, the ceiling, everything. Okay, this one is a semi-gloss enamel, and this is going to be for the ceiling. It gives you a little, you don't want a high gloss for the ceiling because it'll like shiny. The semi is good, which is the same paint for the walls. The next step is this is a high gloss. See this high gloss? This goes on the frames around the window and the door frames. And then your final step is, this is the pigment. And this is semi-gloss also. Yeah, semi-gloss enamel. See if I can get a shot of this sticker. There you go. Want that in the videos. Save that sticker because that's how they mix the paint. The original swatch color I got was Benjamin Moore. So we took this to Home Depot. They mixed the formula to match the color, the pigment. And if you save that tag that we just had there, you can go back and put it in the computer and get them to mix it to the same exact color again. If you go to Home Depot, see what says Marquee? This is the top line paint. All the good paint is roughly nowadays around $45 to $48 a gallon. That does not include tax. So no matter what brand you get, I'm willing to bet you'll pay upwards of $40 to $50 a gallon for the good stuff, the stuff that's going to last the longest. And we got gallons here because I'm thinking 2 of these gallons, the pigment will probably be used up. I didn't want to get 2 of them because they were like $50 a gallon. And the high gloss for the trim and the ceiling paint won't get used up, but the client wants to do the kitchen not long after now. So the good news is you can save that paint and reuse it in the kitchen. So there you have it. We're off to start a pretty long day. See you on the next one.